Hi, this is Saint Jerome bringing you another crypto experiences. Today is March the 4th, 2023, and today's topic is crypto versus fiat, particularly XLM XRP versus fiat and Bitcoin Litecoins versus fiat currency. So right in the forefront, we have the stellar symbol, one of the symbols, right? XLM has stellar lumens, and that is a rocket taking off to the moon. Rumor is it's going to be what will give liquidity to individuals and may just be our actual currency in the future. Well, I wonder what the Bitcoin people say about that. They think the Maximalists think they're going to be the coin of the future. Will the X coins win out? XRP, XLM, XDC? Will that be our currency in the future? Will it be the world reserve now? The US dollar is failing, folks. This is not financial advice, but BRICS is becoming stronger. Saudi Arabia just recently signed deals with Russia. Russia is selling their oil in Bitcoin or gold or rubles backed by gold. The BRICS nations are going to back their currency by gold. And let me check. Let's see. Let me look right now. Federal Reserve and the currency in the United States not backed by anything. It's well the gold in Fort Knox. Okay, gold in Fort Knox. Rumors are there's not hardly any gold in Fort Knox. But yet we print and we print and we print. And I want to tell you something. We're not really printing. Most of the new dollars put into circulation, and it's been trillions since the current administration's been in office. And to be honest, every administration has really added to it, but especially now, we're like doubling, tripling, quadrupling our debt, and we're just printing out the currency. That could lead to something in fiat currency called hyperinflation. What's fiat currency? Fiat currency is the currency not backed by anything. What's hyperinflation? Prices keep going higher and higher and higher, and finally they reach a ridiculous price. Let's look at some of the fiat currencies of the past and see how ridiculous it got. Folks, it got pretty darn ridiculous. How about Weimar Germany and back in 1923? Now, if you want to see a classic example of hyperinflation, here we go. I've showed this video before when I did a little podcast that had we talked about hyperinflation then. But look at what these kids are playing with. They are playing with stacks and stacks of the mark in 1923. And those marks are probably something like 200, 300 trillion marks. They were worthless. They made kids playing toys. They made fuel for furnaces. I told the story about, and I'll show this in a second. So I think I'll wait till I show you the picture. I don't think this is the actual children, but it is a good example of what happened. Look at this. People had to take wheelbarrows of fiat currency just to buy simple things. The story is that some two kids went to the store and their mother said, take this wheelbarrow full of marks and see if you can buy anything, bread, whatever, eggs, right? Hey, our eggs are way cheaper. They're only like $8 a dozen, not, I don't know, a couple trillion marks or more. And this is the wheelbarrow that this is the story of the wheelbarrow they took to the store. They left the wheelbarrow with the currency outside to see what they could get. When they came back, the wheelbarrow's gone, but someone had stolen it and left the marks on the ground. That's how utterly worthless the marks were by the end of the hyperinflation. It got so bad in Weimar Germany that it was actually cheaper to burn the paper marks, of which there were plenty of, not worth anything, as fuel instead of spending them. Here's an example of a lady burning Reichmark, right? And they were made on really cheap paper. Somewhere I bought a couple of those for curiosity. One time you can usually at most coin shows buy them because there were so many in circulation that they're easy to find anyway. So this is a lady burning because it's cheaper than wood. Here's another amusing photo from the 1923 Weimar Germany and the hyperinflation. Kids are out on a beautiful spring day. They're flying their kites. What's on that kite? How about 300 trillion mark notes each one? They must be valuable if their parents let them take those currency, those bills outside and make kites out of them. But at least the kids had fun, right? Flying their hyperinflated marks everywhere. My gosh, if they lost them, they probably lost a quadrillion dollars of marks, or well, quadrillion marks. And what do you do when you have all those marks flying around causing a mess? You hire a street cleaner to sweep them up and throw them away. Yes, those are trillions of dollar mark notes just being swept away by the street cleaner and thrown away because they folks were utterly worthless. And that's just what happens at the end of hyperinflation. The currency, it just is not worth anything. Burning, wallpaper, make kids' toys. Let's go out and buy some bread in Weimar Germany. So what was that like? Well, what's hyperinflation? It's when money loses its value, and so you need more money to pay for the same thing. Hyperinflation is inflation that is very high and out of control. Prices increase so fast and by enormous amount. So look at this. How much was bread in Germany? Well, no, 1918, like the end of the war, 1 mark. November 1922, 163 marks. Wow, that's a lot of inflation already. September 1923, 1,500,000 marks. And at November of 1923, that is, looks like 200 trillion marks. I don't know about you, but that's some pretty expensive bread. Now, I know currency's been called, I've got a lot of bread, but this is ridiculous. Actually, they got a lot of marks and not a lot of bread. Hey, and here is a 500,000 mark note. Wow, I'm glad the world learned its lesson. Wait, what's this? Not very familiar with this currency. It looks like a 500 trillion note, and I think it's from Yugoslavia, and I think maybe around 1947 or so. Dang, I guess we didn't quite get the idea from 1923 Weimar Germany, huh? Here we go again. Actually, an example that happened to me when I was in high school was I believe that the Mexican peso was about 8 pesos to a dollar. Well, by the time I graduated, it was 12 pesos to a dollar. When I was in college, it was like 16 pesos to a dollar. About the time I graduated, it was in the 20s. Then we were married. My wife and I were married, and so as a young married couple, the exchange rate got up to like 100 something per peso. And within our first 3 years of marriage, it went up to 3,000, 5,000 pesos to a dollar. Whoa! My poor brother-in-law exchanged some pesos to dollars, and the very next day they devalued the peso, and he lost really half his money. They gave him more pesos, but it wasn't worth it at all. So what did Mexico do for a while? They had two prices on things. They had a N standing for nuevos, and then pesos. So they had an N, a dollar sign, and that was a new pesos. And then they had the regular dollar sign that was the old pesos. So what did that mean? Folks, you won't believe it, but when they got ridiculous like this bill here, that's 100,000 peso bill worth $2 at that time. When it got that ridiculous, they simply chopped off the zeros. So when things used to cost 10,000 pesos, lo and behold, magic performed. In the new pesos, they were only 10 pesos. And that's what they're on now. They're still on the new pesos. So they ran with two prices on things for a long time. And now they no longer show the old peso price, but those notes are still floating out there. And believe me, a lot of people got scammed because they got confused. Well, there hasn't been any recent examples anyway. That's great to know. Wait a minute. What's this? These are Venezuelan bolivares notes, and all those Venezuelan bolivares notes could buy those tomatoes. Hyperinflation in the modern world, folks. How about bananas? They're pretty cheap. You only need this stack of bolivares. How many thousands is that? Jeez. Well, here are some Venezolanos protesting the devaluation of their currency. They are not happy people. I heard some horrific things people were doing. if whether the rumor is true or not. I heard sometimes recently it got so bad that people are actually breaking in the zoos and butchering zoo animals. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard as a rumor. So these poor people, let's read the poster. Con esta vivía, con esto vivía. With this I live. Con esto medio vivía. Up the top right. With these I half live. To the bottom, to the middle left. Con esto no sé y cómo voy a vivir. I don't know how I'm going to live with the new ones. And then with the American dollar, con este sueldo digno y justo. With the American dollar, a salary that is dignified and just. Unfortunately, folks, this is a little while ago. We're losing the petrodollar. Our dollar wasn't backed by anything except for our military and our agreements with oil. And here is my absolute favorite photo of Venezuelan Bolivare notes. Look how valuable they ain't. Bad grammar, I know. Look at that. A whole dumpster full of Bolivares. And you know what's ironic about that? Do you know where that dumpster was? It was outside of the Bitcoin conference in Miami. So what are they saying? It was protests. These are worthless, but cryptocurrency has value. Why does cryptocurrency have value? It's limited number and it's on a ledger that you can follow. So when you have whatever crypto you choose, whatever digital asset you choose, if it's on the blockchain, you know what's happening on that particular blockchain. I like any digital asset that is limited. Bitcoin's the granddaddy of that. There's only going to be 21 million of them ever minted. However, to be fair, Bitcoin can be a little clunky. The one that seems to be coming around is the X ones. Seem like they might be working because they work very quickly, and they're not printed to infinity. They have a finite limit also. It's in the billions, but still it's finite, and there's a stop to it. So we got cryptocurrency on one hand, and we have on one hand, and we have dollars, fiat currency on the other hand. So what's a major difference between fiat currency and a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin? Let's use Bitcoin as our example. Bitcoin, limited supply. Bitcoin has a set maximum, 21 million. Fiat currency, dollars, other governments' currency, unlimited supply. Governments can produce as needed. And we see what happens when they keep producing. The money becomes valueless. Digital currency is represented by cryptographic addresses, and they are on a ledger. Physical currency represented by bills and coins. And folks, if you're used to physical currency, you know a lot of our currency is digital that we use on our Visa cards and our Mastercards, both debit and credit, but they're just dots. The cryptocurrency is issued by computers. You have to do either proof of work or proof of stake in order to validate the ledger in order to have the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is produced by mining, and you have to solve an algorithm to produce a Bitcoin. Then you're rewarded with a Bitcoin to put it in circulation. Whereas in the currency, it's issued by governments with no control. Decentralized, not controlled by a central governing body. I like that. Centralized, controlled by financial institutions. They have control of your money. Here's something a lot of people don't know, that if we have a point of confiscation of currency, the banks are going under, they have the right to keep your money and not give it to you. They pay off their creditors first. It's called a bail-in. And folks, we all signed up for that when we signed our bank accounts. Most people don't know that. If your bank goes under, you're going to have a hard time getting your money back. Well, we're insured by the FDIC. Well, the FDIC does not have enough assets to back everybody. It's just a small portion of everybody who has bank accounts. Remember, creditors get theirs first. I've heard, just a rumor, not financial advice, that credit unions and private banks have a little more safety in that regard. But you might want to do your own research. Don't take it from this guy. Here's a famous illustration of a finite amount of Bitcoin. and how its value has increased. So the first purchase ever with Bitcoin was by getting 2 Papa Del pizzas, and the person spent 10,000 Bitcoins. Today, folks, those Bitcoins are about $23 each. Here's a chart of comparison I found that compares to 2017. So that's 5 years ago already. In 2017, Bitcoin was at almost $10,000. Oh, that's pretty cool. But yet look at the US dollar at that time. It's way worse now, but the inflation then had already been 13.1%. So between the time of the pizza purchase and the time of the got to 2017, the American dollar had lost that much, and yet Bitcoin had gained tons. Hi, this is not financial advice, but just thought I'd throw this in the middle before I get back to XLM and XRP. Other good hold of value, as it will be rising in the future, are precious metals. And I believe, and it's just my opinion and the opinion of many others like Vix Weir, that silver will be rising the quickest. Right now, I think it's roughly 80 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold, but the historic value is 16 to 1. So if it just gets the historic value, silver will rise about 5 times faster at least. But a lot of people think that it's going to be a lot more than that, and we think that precious metals are going to go up bigly. So precious metals and digital assets seem to be a good way to store your value. That piece of paper up there, as to quote Lindsey Williams, who got his information from many of the elite he was working under in the Alaskan oil pipelines. He was a minister who calmed the troops down, and they really liked that he did that. He's a good man, and he did a lot of good podcast time. Just recently died. He quoted the elite who said, if it's printed on a piece of paper, it's worth a piece of paper. The secret is hold assets, whether they're precious metals or cryptos or physical things. Hold real assets. That's not financial advice, folks. That's just what Lindsey Williams said. So here's a chart to compare them then of fungibility, non-consumable, portability, durable, highly divisible, secure, easily transactable, scarce, sovereign, decentralized, smart, and to sum it all up, the cryptocurrencies have a big edge in all of these things. And the precious metals, not bad. Fiat currency, however, no, not much edge at all. So as I wrap this video up, and folks, I think I have messed up pausing a little bit. I'll see when I finish this video how it is. So if I keep this or not, but I hope so. So anyway, here is a good illustration of what's going on. I've used this in prior videos here, but here are the ISO20022 compliant cryptos. The XRP gang, the XLM gang, the XDC gang say that these are going to be the ones that stand, and the maximalists believe Bitcoin, Litecoin, and all the other tokens and currencies are going away. Top left you have Stellar XLM. Bottom left you have Algorand. Next to it you have XDC. In the middle you have IOTA. It's the Internet of Things. And then to the right of that looks like a fidget toy is XRP by Ripple Labs. Then you have HBAR, the Hedera, and then you have Quant, which to me, if I understand, seems to be something that connects a lot of things together. And up above you have Cardano or HK. So that group says that theirs is going to be the one that stands, and theirs is going to be the one that's going to be used for currency and transactions, especially because XRP provides liquidity for financial institutions, and XLM will provide liquidity for individuals and probably businesses too. I'm not sure on all that. That's what they say. However, other people say, wait a second, XRP, not so bad, not so fast. BTC, Bitcoin versus XRP from Ripple Labs, which is better? Well, the Bitcoin maximalists definitely say theirs is better. And I'm part of the Litecoin family. I like Litecoin, and we think the Litecoin is going to be a pretty good coin, especially as we're approaching the halving. It should go up quite a bit in value, but not financial advice. A podcasting friend of mine, Clint Westwood, has it going up pretty good by June if you follow historical halving data. So maybe $200. It's around 90 today, but somewhere around that. Not financial prediction, just kind of what's been happening in the past. And as I said, as a member of the Litecoin family, I think Litecoin has great possibilities also in the future. I think that a lot of the forks came off of Bitcoin, a Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Digibyte, Ravencoin. Big three probably are still Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Digibyte, in my opinion. I don't know if, excuse me just a second. Hey, I'm not a professional. That was a phone call. So I had to stop and do that. So anyway, I'm talking about Litecoin and the different forks off of Bitcoin. Uh, Litecoin, you can even spend Litecoin with a Visa card. The Litecoin Foundation puts out a Visa debit card, and that can be spending where it takes Visa. So um, I'm also a ballet ambassador, and thus I have a little bit of help above me here. This is a kind of blown up model, obviously, of a ballet wallet. What is a ballet wallet for those who are new? It is credit card size. They're made out of steel or steel gold plated. This is the steel ones are $35. The gold plated ones are about 99. I am a ballet ambassador, so you can get these wallets from a code down below, down below. I got to show my finger, like down below, down there. And when you do that, you get a discount, and I get a little bit of a kickback to help me with my podcasting and my time. So that outside QR code is how you receive your currency, your Litecoin. And there's over 100 coins stored on this card, including, folks, XRP. You can store XRP and Litecoin on the same card. Pretty cool. So anyway, and then underneath you peel that sticker back, and that is your part of your private key used to send your Litecoin. And then you also, in order to send, have to scratch off the phrase down below and add them together on the either the desktop or the app by Ballet Wallets, Ballet. And that app is fantastic. It's very good. It gives you a virtual card you run your codes through, and after you scan it, it's on that card and works very well. And if anything ever happened to Ballet, they have their codes and their procedure out there in the free web, so you can still recover. So that's pretty cool. But they're going good. Um, don't worry about the safety of the private keys. They are made in 2 different countries, and you have to have both parts in order to send your funds. And you don't care if anybody has a public key, because that's how they give you funds, right? You need both to send your funds, and as I understand it, they destroy that as soon as they're made. So, plus Bobby C. Lee is the CEO. He's got a very good rep going way back. He's already a Bitcoin millionaire, and his brother Charlie just happens to be the one that, there it is over there, that invented a Litecoin, a fork off of Bitcoin, 4 times bigger and 4 times faster at least. Very quick. Also, I suggest, if you have, oh, it's not a suggestion, sorry, not advice. Let me remember to say that. However, if one would like to get 2,000 or more with almost no upper limit of some crypto XLM, matter of fact, this brokerage, Caleb and Brown, can get you all of those. They will sell you, I think it is IOTA, but I think you can't trade for it. Don't quote. It's either IOTA or Algorand, but don't quote me. But you can trade and buy the other ones on their site. And the cool thing is, you get a personal broker for just $2,000 of investment. You get a personal broker. That's pretty cool, and they charge a pretty darn low fee. If you use my link to them, and you got to use my affiliate code, you will get a permanent reduced rate with them. So, not financial advice, but they're good guys. So give them a shot if you need to get that kind of amount. Also, you can use Strike app for small amounts. You get Bitcoin and transfer it over to the crypto of your choice, and maybe using something like an Exodus wallet or one of the other currency exchanges. That's a good way to do it too. Strike works very easily. I also have a discount code for that down below. So I want to thank you very much for coming to my podcast today. I hope it came out smoothly enough. I don't know, I was having some issues today, but hey, I'm a guy sitting on my couch doing some cryptocurrency videos for fun. I thank you for your support. I still have my 1,000 subscriber contest going on, and if you are the first one to comment after my 1,000th subscriber, you will receive at least 100,000 satoshis. That's about 23 bucks. Not bad for free. I gave one out at the 300 subscribers. I went to my favorite place, Strike, and got a little Bitcoin and sent it to them from Strike. Pretty cool. All right, thank you very much. Please give me a thumbs up and a like. That really helps with everything. And I thank you for coming today. Goodbye.